Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. So I read quite a bit. So I was on the Dr. Joe Dispenza groups on Facebook looking at all these various posts about people trying to heal COVID, MS, an assortment of things. And things weren't going quite as they expected. Like I'll take an example of the MS post first. So this person has MS and all these difficulties. She's tried a Dr. Joe meditations for the past 5 years. She tried Dr. David Hawking's, his letting go technique. And she also tried the Wall protocol. And I think her name was Barbara Wall. I'm not really sure. I have to look her up. But Wall protocol is basically she had MS and healed herself by dieting. So when I saw all the stuff she was trying, it's like, oh, this isn't going to work for you. I can just see it isn't going to work for a few things. And in my own case, I'm basing this in my own story, my own case, that I had multiple sclerosis and I lost the ability to walk at age 38. I don't have MS anymore, no disability, no medicine, but I had a bunch of other things too that I don't have anymore. So basically, we're making things too complicated with all these healing posts that I see, people want healing. They're making it too complicated. They're not following their own recipe and they're tapping into someone else's recipe, which isn't quite aligned with their needs, their way forward. So where I really help people is, returning home to heal or returning home to whatever you want. Returning home is basically remembering who you really are, the soul, the spirit, the consciousness, that we need to let go of all these rules, all these requirements that are from outside of ourselves. They're not really going to work for you. And I'm just purely curious what the stats would be. I see some people getting some great results from Dr. Joe, but that may be a small fraction because he's a lot of focus on healing and it seems like a lot of concepts and busyness from my own personal viewpoint that it just seems too complex. And I know in his own story, it wasn't that complex. He just did a lot of visualizations, sawing himself healthy. He didn't have all these concepts and techniques that he's teaching today. But I see people are getting results, but I'm really wondering what that is. With a large audience, is it 1%? I'm thinking myself it's probably about 1% or less. Say if there's a million followers, maybe 10,000 got healthy. Because when you engage in healing that you need to be fixed, that keeps the body broken, if you will. Because the universe is always giving what you focus on. My body's broken, my body's broken. So you get more body broken. You got to let go of the fixation on the body and just really tap into who you are. Like I was never focused on healing. I was focused on inner peace. And I didn't know that I was aligning to my spirit, my soul, my consciousness. Then my mind got quiet. I just followed the steps from within me. Do this, do that. I didn't figure anything out, didn't have any grandiose plan to heal all my ailments. I simply wanted inner peace. And through inner peace, everything healed. The body got back into harmony, synchronicity, because there's no more mental interference. So like I say, I like to keep things short and concise. I'm not a big fan of word salads, all these complex techniques, all these heavy words. Keep it short, simple, understandable. Because I never had a spiritual teacher. I learned to be present and finding that alignment within me. This is where I really help people, is clearing out that head trash so they can heal themselves, so they can hear their own wisdom, their own insights. And yes, healing does happen at times when I'm working with individuals. Sometimes they're just not in the place where they can get to that mind to be peaceful, to be quiet. I talked to a woman, I share the story quite a bit. I have quite a few of these stories, but I think this one's probably the most profound one. This woman, I got on the phone with her, and she was having all this pain, leg pain, for over a year, and the doctors couldn't figure out what was going on with her. Well, I tuned in. I saw what was going on. I saw where her belief system was. I asked her a few questions. I got do what I do. I get still, I get quiet, get silent, and the like pain was gone. It just reminds me, if you ever see like Charlie Goldsmith, he does a similar thing that I do. He just gets quiet and he just tunes in. It's hard to concept to put that into words. But Charlie Goldsmith is a good example where he just does the healing, where I try to get rid of the head trash as well. Because I figure if I just heal the body without clearing the mind, there's a good chance that's going to come back. Because maybe that wasn't cleared, that root issue that's causing that problem, that issue. But when I read all these various groups, even with COVID, the person was asking, what do I do? Asking for advice outside of themselves. And it's always, no, you got to go within. You got to align to who you really are and see what is best for you. You live in your body. You know it the best. So trust those insights, those wisdom come from your spirit, your consciousness, because you are connected to all that is. The mind loves this place of separation. They're better than they're better than me. They have more knowledge. They have a doctorate. They have all these requirements, all these certifications. It doesn't matter. You know the way within you. The mind is convincing you that you don't know. Like I was sick for 38 years. I just sat for 5 minutes a day and it went away without me putting effort into it, if you will. I wasn't trying to figure it out. So well, it took care of itself. We just got rid of this mental interference. We got to get rid of these rules, these requirements, these restrictions, this resistance, and just realize we have this power within us. But can you relax enough to hear yourself, to let go of all these techniques, to let go of the way you're holding your hands, the way you're breathing, the way you're sitting, just letting that all go and just being you, the real you. But we're in this false sense of self that we are this identity, this personality, and everything that goes along with it. And it's a lot of trappings. We just need to clear it all out. Like I said, I do a lot of reading. So I also read the chronic fatigue groups, the chronic illness groups as well. And I really haven't made much progress in those groups because they're where I was when I was sick for 38 years. That all the power was outside of me. It's the doctor's responsibility to fix me. So they're in that same place. And they're not really open, if you will, to try a new way that doesn't make logical sense. Last time I saw my doctor, he questioned me for 45 minutes trying to understand what I did. He had no answers. My scans were good. My blood work was excellent. There's no physical symptoms. He was puzzled. And when I post in this, some groups is like, you're imagining things, you're misdiagnosed and all these stories. No. I was at a big teaching hospital in Philadelphia. I had my medical records were size of phone books. I had several of those. So the medical world doesn't really recognize miracles. They don't know how to explain it. They have to quantify everything. Well, miracles can't be quantified. If you ever see the show from The Healer from, the show The Healer from Goldsmith, right? Yeah, doctors call them in. They have no rhyme or reason, like, why is this happening? Why? There's no reason. We got to let go of all the reasons and just realize we're all consciousness. We get attached to this form called the human body. But we need to go greater. We need to go beyond that into who we really are. Just to relax, to be at peace with ourselves, let go of all this judgment, this criticism, of just realizing we're all the divine essence and all is well, despite all these mental stories and all these woes we see in the world. We're just too hung up in separation, too much division, forgetting who we really are, living in this human body, trying to have a happy human experience, being successful, living life that we want to live. We just need to just relax and we can have it all. There's no restrictions. There's no requirements. No one's up there judging you. Yes, you get this. No, you don't get that. Universe is always saying yes. That's following your predominant thoughts and your emotions. All right. Well, I think that's enough for today. I will talk to you later. Bye for now.